Alright guys, today we're going to be talking about drill presses. I have a really small one, but across the board, no matter what the size is, they all have pretty much the same features. So I'll bring you close and show you what I have set up here. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, this is a pretty jankety setup. I should probably have a more stable table and have this bolted down or something, but I don't, and I understand that because of that I could run into problems. I haven't so far, but I'm sure that day will come at some point. The main parts that you at least need to kind of know, back here you have the motor. These handles you use to sink your drill bit into your material. This is your chuck, that's what holds the drill bit. This is your table, and this is your base. Now, one thing that your chuck needs to work, or at least work well, is a key, and that's going to help you tighten up your chuck around your drill bit. Let's say I want to put this drill bit in the chuck. I'm going to loosen it, insert the drill bit, and then I'll start tightening it, and you'll see these little jaws start to close in on your drill bit. Now, once you have it finger tight, that's where the key comes in, and the key has grooves and like an axle that you rotate it on, and you twist that clockwise, and that tightens it up real well for you. Now, in addition to a base, it's smart to have some type of board that you're drilling into, because at least with this cheap Harbor Freight drill press, it does give you the option to shift the table around. It's not always parallel with the chuck, but the problem that you run in, let's say it needs to be angled for some reason like this, you can drill a hole in your table, and no one wants a hole in their table. So that's why you toss a piece of scrap wood underneath there so that you can drill down past your workpiece. Let's say I wanted to drill through this guy, and I wouldn't have to worry about hitting the table, and I would also not have to worry as much about split out, I think is what it's called. Basically, whenever the drill bit comes out of the other side of your workpiece, the wood or whatever the material it is likes to split out. So here's just a quick example. Turn the drill press on, bring the bit down nice and slowly, and I know I've gone all the way through when I can see the pieces kind of wiggling like that, and we got a hole drilled. Now, there is one aspect of drill presses that gets kind of technical, and that's your chuck speed, how many rotations per minute I think they go by. Basically how fast your bit is spinning, and I'll show you how to change that right now. So up top we have a chart that tells us the RPMs per notch in each of these wheels. This wheel right here is the drive wheel. It's connected straight to the motor. This wheel right here is connected to our chuck, and then the belt is what drives this wheel. Now, there's supposed to be some way that you can push this motor in to loosen the belt, basically to move this wheel inwards, but this isn't the highest quality drill press, so I just could never get it to work. Here's what I've done. Whenever I need to change the speed, normally I keep it low, but if I needed to increase it, I'll take the belt and I'll lift it up in the center where there's no contact, and I'll just work it up on top of that next wheel and rotate it on just like that. Now there's a good amount of slack in our belt, so I'm going to go over to the other wheel and I'm going to lift and rotate this belt right on top of that next wheel, just like that. And this will be spinning at a little bit more RPMs than the previous level, and I'll just repeat that process until at the RPM level that I need. So like I said, in general, I'll keep it at the lowest setting because I can drill metal at a low setting and I can also drill wood at a low setting. Now, why would you want to increase the RPMs? Really for like polishing, sanding, or buffing stuff. I have a buffing wheel and a wire wheel, and I'll sometimes use these in the drill press if I need to clean up a piece, but for the most part I'll just keep it at the lowest setting and work with it. One tip that I have for drill presses is to tie your key somewhere on the drill press. It is so easy to lose these things, and without the key it's very hard to get a good tight grasp or clamp onto your drill bit. So that's always nice to have. Plus, I couldn't tell you how many times I've left the key in the chuck and then turned it on, and then if I didn't have it tied on, it'd whip that key off into my garage. So having a string tied onto your key not only keeps it in a place where you know it will always be, but it's also like a kind of a safety precaution. Or you just don't leave your key in there, but it's not always that easy. Other than that, the only real safety concern with a drill press, well, I remember one time my shop teacher told me that he said it didn't happen in his class, but he told me in one of his friends' classes, there was a guy on drugs and he just drilled a hole straight in his hand. So carelessness is also always an easy way to get hurt. Another way to get hurt with a drill press is to wear gloves or long sleeves, something that is very baggy, long hair that can get caught up in this spindle or the chuck or the drill bit. So just try to stay clear of anything on your body that could get caught up in this. Other than that, that's pretty much it. If you guys have questions, let me know.